No self, no God, no clue. David Hume and the joy of destroying everything. Cogito ergo nope. Written by Sophia Blackwell. Narrated by Benjamin Powell. Disclaimer. This book contains actual philosophical content hidden beneath layers of sarcasm, mockery, and irreverence. Any educational value you may extract from these pages is purely intentional, but will be firmly denied if confronted by members of academia. The author has made every reasonable attempt to accurately explain philosophical concepts while simultaneously suggesting they might be nonsense. If these two goals occasionally conflict, the author regrets nothing. No philosophers were harmed in the making of this book, as they have all been dead for a considerable amount of time and are thus beyond harm. Their legacies, however, may require therapy. This book is not a substitute for reading the original philosophical texts, but let's be honest, you weren't going to do that anyway. The publisher and author disclaim any liability for philosophical crises, existential dread, or sudden urges to speak in incomprehensible jargon that may result from reading this book. If you begin using terms like dialectical, difference, or the hermeneutics of facticity in everyday conversation, please seek immediate help. Dedicated to everyone who's ever nodded along in a philosophy seminar while understanding absolutely nothing. Genuine academic disclaimer. While this book takes a humorous and irreverent approach to explaining philosophy, the core explanations of concepts, historical context, and influence are factually accurate. The author has made a good faith effort to present philosophical ideas correctly before proceeding to mock them mercilessly. The jokes, analogies, and contemporary references are intended to make difficult philosophical concepts more accessible and memorable, not to replace rigorous understanding. Readers seeking a complete and nuanced understanding of the philosophical systems presented are encouraged to consult the original texts and scholarly commentary once they've stopped laughing. All exaggerations, simplifications, and instances of comedic license are intentional and in service of both humor and clarity. The author acknowledges that philosophical traditions are more complex and potentially valuable than any single interpretation can convey. Introduction. Welcome to the Skepticism Spiral. Welcome, dear reader, to the most cheerful descent into philosophical ruin you'll ever take. This is the story of David Hume, Enlightenment philosopher, professional buzzkill, and the man who looked at the entire Western tradition of thought and said, "Cute, but have you tried absolutely obliterating everything?" Plato had his forms, Aristotle had his substances, Descartes had his divine safety net and a soul he stored in a brain nugget, and Hume had vibes, just vibes, and a lot of deeply suspicious side-eye. This is the man who took one look at logic, causality, the soul, religion, and even the concept of self and whispered, "I don't believe any of this, and honestly, neither should you." Hume didn't want to build a philosophical system. He wanted to light it all on fire and warm himself with the flames of certainty's collapse. You know that feeling when someone asks a question so annoying it ruins the entire conversation? That's Hume, except the conversation is reality. In this book, we're going to explore how Hume dismantled causality like it was a badly glued IKEA table, declared you have no self, just a slideshow of impressions with emotional baggage, rejected miracles,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?